much to the horror and the dismay of people on Twitter who are the soldiers of morality, yesterday something tragic has happened in Romania. A person on television, an actor, I guess, tried to portray himself as the United States president. Now, normally this is fine, except he chose Barack Obama, and this is not allowed. He did not have the correct genetical makeup in order to do this. He was born incorrectly. His parents did not fuck appropriately. And this is considered to be blackface. It's a term that doesn't even have equivalence in Romanian language. But apparently, Romanians should get educated about the situation of the United States of America. Romanians should learn what is happening half the world away. We should learn about American history and heritage and cultural norms. Preferably start listening to CNN. Maybe even listen to some Democrat speeches if they can also add them in Romanian as they do it in Spanish, so that we can know why this is offensive. Many people go like, well, why didn't they hire a black guy? And the answer is because the person that was hired wanted to do a bit, like you're saying, that his human rights regarding freedom of creativity. I know that leftists are all big on human rights, so they must empathize with this, right? I mean, it's a human right. It's in the Geneva Convention. The right to freedom of creativity is restricted because he doesn't have the correct genetics, like because he wasn't born properly, because he isn't American. Is that what they're saying? That is exactly what they're saying. I haven't seen the bit itself, though I have been given pictures by people going like, aren't you outraged? And I was like, I generally don't understand why we should, though. Like, why should we import American outrage? Like, from what I understand, this wasn't done in a disrespectful manner. Like he wasn't trying to suggest that he is a black person. He was trying to suggest that he is Barack Obama. I do not think that Barack Obama is above parody or criticism. And again, I don't even think that he was doing it in a manner which is to denigrate the US president. It was just a bit. It was, like a comedy sketch. But the question is, like, again, why should we import American values in our country? I mean, we didn't have black people as slaves. We didn't travel to Africa. We didn't do any of those things. So why should we import American values? Especially when they provide no benefit. Do Americans import Romanian values? I mean, I saw one of the people that was freaking out on Twitter over this had demon in the nickname. I mean, that is very offensive to Romanians. We're a Christian nation. We talk about the crucifixes as our soldiers go to war against the Turks. This is in the national anthem, by the way. Yes, like in the national anthem, it has like, priests, raise your crosses. So if you have demon in the name, like, are you going to change that because it's offensive to Romanians? Of course they won't, right? Like, this is cultural imperialism. It's their values have to be forced on others, and it's forced at the end of the day, because you haven't, like, I haven't seen a poll where most Romanians even agree that this is offensive. In fact, most Romanians don't even know what they're talking about, because I looked at some boomers. This was a conversation going on Facebook, and the very fact that they had to use the word blackface, right? Like, they didn't say față de negru, which would be like a translation into Romanian. They actually had to import the English word and to force it into the Romanian language. I mean, they were so lazy they couldn't even come up with a translation for it, because there is no equivalent. And this is, you notice like all these educated kids coming up with their education from TikTok when they go to work, like, where did you finish your university? On TikTok. And they're coming in and they're trying to impose their values. And the elderly, and I'm not even actually going to say the elderly, like people that are over the age of 30, that are, busy trying to put food on the table for themselves and their family, and they don't even know what nonsense you're talking about. Like, what is this American garbage? Like, they're bewildered. It's like, what is blackface? What does it mean, right? And to see them like trying to struggle and explain, and as they're struggling, they don't understand. The last time that I seen this was when they were trying to say that it's racist for Trump to build a border. Like, this was another conversation in Romania during the 2016 elections, right? Like, for some reason, the 2016 elections were being discussed in Romania. I don't know why, but it was what it was. And many of the people were like, oh, look how racist Trump is. It's like, what is he doing? He's building a wall. But we have a wall with our border. And they were like bewildered by it. Do we? Like, yeah, we do. All of our borders are fenced up. Yeah, we got people patrolling them. They have dogs and shit. Like, if I'm not mistaken, there's actually, I mean, I don't know if they still do it, but during the Soviet era, they used to. Like, they would have one fence onto the left, another fence, and in the middle, the ground was smoothed so that they would see if there's any footprint. They didn't have access to modern technology during the Soviet Union, but they did manage to work with the things they had, which was usually dogs. Sometimes it was tripwires with cans that would go clang, clang, clang when you know, like they used what they had, but our border was very protected. But it does show, you know, like the people who are importing American values. Now I'm not saying that importing American values is a bad thing, heaven forbid. Surely there are good things that we can take from the Americans. Like the culture of hard work, Protestant values, you know, like there are good things to be taken from there. But to get offended over something that most people wouldn't even understand, like, again, like the concept of blackfacing. I mean, most people saw Justin Trudeau do it, you know? It's like, it's a presidential thing. It's a, well, in this case, it was a prime ministerial thing, right? If Justin Trudeau did it. But it is funny, right? Because you have like all these young kids, which are a very small fringe radical minority, like trying to convince the elderly people that they should be offended. And the elderly people are like, what are you talking about? I don't even understand, like, the premise, let alone why I should have an emotional reaction over this. Not to mention, like, do people even watch the New Year's anymore? It's so boring, isn't it? Maybe it's just that I'm getting old, but I don't see them hilarious. It's just like, meh. They used to be fun, though. But now it's just meh. Like, if you see last New Year's, it's probably the same like this one. Anyway, right. Let me know what you guys think. And it's still, I can't believe I'm talking about this. It's still like bewildering me. It's like, literally, like, what can we get a list of what Americans get offended by so that we can apply it in Romania? Like, what would it solve? Like, what is the purpose? And will Americans get a list of what offends us so that they can apply it, huh? Jesus. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and I'll see you guys there. Take care.